Doom 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 do 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 do. Greetings, travelers. Welcome to the awkward episodes of Bible study devotional and BMX flatline learning. I don't know if we're gonna do a drawing stream. I'm gonna go hang out with some people today. But the thing is that we can ride for a little bit, and man, it's really it seems really strange. Sometimes I feel very restricted right now with how I'm riding, but I have to be thankful that I can still at least ride, right? Because we are riding with this hurt knee without an ACL and stuff. I am wearing one of those really gnarly braces. Still waiting for the ortho people. And yeah, so if you're out there and you've torn your ACL and maybe you don't want to get surgery or something, you still want to ride, I'd highly consider looking into flatland because, quite frankly, it's really easy on it. I mean, I haven't really gotten hurt on it, and I think also if you have torn your ACL and you're wondering, what can I ride or something, I honestly think that riding on a slick surface is way safer for if you don't have an ACL, because here, I'll show you. So see how my foot slides on the surface like that? I think this is why a lot of people tear their, actually I'm pretty sure this is why a lot of people tear their ACLs in football or soccer, is because you know how they have those cleats and they have those little spikes, and they put their foot down and they put one foot down. So this is how you tear your ACL, right? So you put one foot down and your body weight is turning, right? And it basically just shifts your knee like that all in one. But the thing is, why I think it's safer to ride on a slick surface is because look at this right here. See, you spin around and stuff on this, right? And I think that's why I'm able to even ride in here with no ACL and just this. But there is another person, his name's Ryan Nyquist. He's a really famous BMX, right? He's actually the Olympic, he's literally the Olympic coach for America for BMX right now. And he says he's been riding without an ACL for, I think, close to 9 years. And what's weird is he's doing some crazy jumps and stuff, but he has a custom fit brace. And I might be opted into getting one of those things, so hopefully I can get one of those things, maybe not have to get surgery. I mean, because Ryan Nyquist is doing it. I don't know if he's just saying he doesn't have an ACL, but I don't know, but anyway, let's get into the Bible study, man. Let's try and honor the Lord or something. Trying to practice casting some, practice catfishing or sowing some seeds out in the field, right? So, I don't know, we could practice and you watch me fail over and over and over again. Which maybe that's what we should go into. Let's maybe go into failure. Something I think that's very important in terms of, that's the other weird thing. I'm wondering, what? Okay, so if I remember, I think we've done 3 Bible studies on failure, on the topic of failure, right? And what I don't even really know, if I'm even thinking about it. I think they did bring up that one verse. Now, see, this is actually the strange thing. Sometimes when we do these Bible studies, it's also weird because I'm not pre-planning this stuff out, right? But it's also super strange because, I hate to say it, man, but I do these Bible studies, and a lot of these commentaries I read and even sermons that I listen to, it goes in one ear and out the other, right? And I'm really trying to remember. I wish I could just remember everything that I read, right? But a lot of them, man, it just I'll just read it and it just goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm trying to remember it, right? And it's I'm wondering if there's an aspect of memorization and what causes what really does cause something to be remembered in your mind. What causes memorization? What causes you to just have something stored in your mind, right? And it's just strange because now when I'm thinking about even just the topic of failure, let's see what I remember from things that we've maybe looked up. I guess remembering the verse of in Proverbs where it says, I think something for the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. I remember that verse. What other things about failure though, right? Maybe the part in I don't even remember where it is, but it's that part where Paul talks about how God is glorified in our weaknesses. I remember reading up a commentary on that, and some pastor or whatever, commentator guy, he said that sometimes our weaknesses can even be considered our failures, right? And it's just so strange to even think about that, right? It's so strange that, okay, well, if this commentator said that sometimes our weaknesses can be our failures, and it's weird that Paul goes into God is glorified in our weaknesses, and it's just kind of strange, right? So it's like, and what's weird about thinking about all that stuff, right, is sometimes what's also weird thinking about all this is thinking about this in a streaming aspect, right? Because what's very bizarre that I think a lot of streamers kind of come to terms with, or you think about it eventually, right, is that it's the strange aspect of like you're kind of just having to willingly accept that you are going to fail in front of people, right? And I think that's a very strange aspect because of streaming. And I know there's been times where like I wanted to show my best and stuff like that. There's even times where I get like super self-conscious and stuff. Well, not as much anymore, but right when I was doing it, right? And I wanted, because I was just so used to like, because like if you post on like Instagram a lot or like TikTok or like YouTube and stuff, sometimes you just want to show all of your best moments, right? And you want to edit them down and stuff. And that's the weird thing about streaming, is because streaming is kind of more like, well, we can't edit this. We're just gonna have to keep going with it. It's like, so I don't know. It's just super bizarre. So like, let's look up a commentary. We're gonna look up another commentary on failure, right? Because I think, okay, so let's just, before I look at anything, what also is within the realm of failure, right? I know there's that psychological term of the fear of failure, right? And unfortunately, I've been hearing this from other believers, right? Because they kind of feel like I've been hearing some believers going like, oh, well, what if I mess up? I'm gonna say something wrong, or I don't have a platform, or I don't have a pulpit, or I don't have all this stuff, right? And what's weird is like, as I started getting deeper into the studying about the Great Commission, right? It's the Great Commission. What's weird is many believers kind of, maybe younger believers, I guess. It's something not more so for the younger generations and stuff. Sometimes they think that it's the people that are to do the Great Commission are only like pastors or leaders of the church or something like that. But then what's weird is, it was kind of weird me even studying it, is that when Jesus calls people to go out and proclaim the gospel and to go out and make disciples of all nations and to follow him and become fishers of men, it's kind of it's actually a call to all believers, right? And it's very strange, right? Because I think a lot of times you think, oh, well, it's just the pastor's job to do that, right? We don't have to do anything, right? Let's just have him do it and let's go with it, right? But then what's weird is if you study the Great Commission, it's actually a call to all believers, and I just go, that's really weird. I think it's still weird because it's just strange. I don't know, and I guess that's the strange thing is thinking about that you're going to say something wrong, or because I think that's why I always say take my words grain of salt, because take everything that I even said on any one of these streams with a grain of salt, because see, I'm not like a crazy theologian or anything like that, right? So there was a time when I was taking a little class, like this free class out in Long Beach. I didn't really want to go to it, but my friend kind of just started driving me to this class, and we just started going to it. And then the plague happened. I had to move back home, and it was weird. I was taking this class while I was living in my car. It's kind of strange, but it was just for a brief moment, and it was very interesting. There's a lot of interesting believers in there. But let's see here. We're going to look up, so how we're going to do this, right? We're just going to type in failure, commentary, Bible. I'm going to just type that in. Let's see what comes up, right? Failure, commentary, Bible. Or what about let's look at some maybe verses about failure. Maybe that's what we should start out with. So we could put in failure, Bible, verses. What is going to come up? Okay, so generally Open Bible comes up first out of most things, and this is what we're going to read. We're going to read this one right here. Let's see here. I'm going to read this one. This on failure. Let's see what comes up. Okay, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And see, that's the other weird thing. That's the other strange thing,
is that okay? So when I thought about failure, I can only kind of remember two verses. Now it's strange now we're looking it up, and let's see how many other verses that this site brings up that I did not even remember. And that's the other weird thing, right? It's just like, how can I remember those two ones, but then I can't remember any of these other ones, right? It's just like I wish I could remember like every single one. Like if someone asked me, okay, what do you think about failure? And I'm just like boom, 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 boom. You know, like I have all these verses already, but you can kind of see I'm failing at. Maybe I'm failing at this. I don't really know. I'm trying. I guess we're attempting to. Okay, let's see here. One. 1 John 1:9. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Psalms 73:26. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Okay, so this is actually the big one. This is the very, very big one that I brought up, right? And it's the one that I remembered, right? It's 2 Corinthians 12:9-10. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecution, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Man, isn't that, man, it's so strange that it's so strange that Paul goes, therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses. Like, how crazy is that? That's like, I don't know, man. Isn't that strange? Like, that is such a, it almost feel like when I read this over again, it's just like this weird it's like this strange, like, psychological thing of, like, the fear of failure, right? And sometimes, if you look into, like, the psychological aspects of, like, the fear of failure, right? This is actually what makes a lot of people not want to do something, right? Because they go, oh, well, I'm going to fail at it, or I'm kind of fearful of what people are going to judge me on, or I'm going to just completely just fall on my face doing this stuff, you know, and stuff like that. And what's weird right here is he's saying, what Paul is saying is he's going, therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses. It's almost like he's ready to just drudge and trudge through the muck and mire of going through something, right? And what's weird is now this isn't a scriptural thing, but there is that cheesy like phrase or something like that, and it says success is what is it? It's like success is climbing a mountain of our failures, right? Now, if you like play music, or if you draw, or if you ride BMX, or you skateboard, or something like that, I think that is such a great learning tool, because in order to learn things, I mean, even playing video games stuff, I think basically anything that you do, even just learning anything, right? How do we learn things at times, right? It's sometimes we have to fail. And sometimes it's just strange just thinking about that, right? And what was weird is there's actually this Olympic athlete, right? There's this Olympic athlete, I watched this documentary, and this chick was saying something along the lines of sometimes it's not the people at the top that were like the most talented. Now there is that sort of talent in some degree, or savantism in some cases, right? But this Olympic athlete said like sometimes the people at the top are actually the ones that basically failed the most out of everybody. And that's why they're at the top, because they basically just failed more and they just learn from their failures more, which is really, really strange to think about, right? But if you think about that in a learning aspect, man, it's just so strange. And then thinking about this verse, right? And just thinking about, you know, just Paul going into that he's going to boast in his weaknesses, right? And it's almost like not being scared to fail. It's not being scared of our weaknesses. And it's very strange, right? It's just such a, man, this one verse, man, has hit me so much. And I feel like even if you're thinking about streaming or something like that, man, I'd probably just like think about this verse, do Bible studies on this verse right here. If you're really like worried about like, oh, I'm going to fail, or what are people going to think about me, or I'm not good at this, or I'm not, you know, and maybe I need to start, here's the other weird thing is maybe I need to start doing this more. I'm trying to do it, 'cause especially like trying to learn new tricks. But then what's weird is like kind of get in this weird mode of like, there's like different levels of riding that I do, right? Because there's kind of like the jibbing around, messing around, just having fun, right? And then there's kind of like show mode, right? Where it's like, then if I see like the numbers or something like that, I'll kind of go into the thing of like, oh, well, I kind of want to do some tricks that I already know and can land, right? And then there's the level of just straight, just grinding. You are learning a new trick. And just learning a new trick involves basically, I mean, you haven't been watching these streams, you basically just have to fail thousands and thousands and thousands of times over, maybe for even months on end. In order, it sounds ridiculous, in order to just learn some of these tricks. And I wish I could just learn them in like one try, right? I wish I could just do everything one try. But what's weird is like that's what the bike has been teaching me. It's just like this, it's this tool of just like having to just endure your failures, but through the endurance of your failures, you end up learning these things, and you can start just morphing it together and stuff like that. It's just super strange, right? But also I start thinking about the aspect of like, oh, well, then people are going to think it's just boring. I mean, imagine if I just did a stream where I just like failed the entire stream. You know, I think most people wouldn't really want to watch that. So I don't know, but I don't know. So anyway, let's move on. So that's a very strange one to think, right? 2 Corinthians 12, 9 through 10. Let's see here. What else do we got up in here? Romans 5, 3 through 5. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who's been given to us. Endurance. We need to learn endurance. Okay, let's see here. Oh, see, they brought up that verse. So I got actually 2 of the verses on this thing, right? I've only remembered 2 of these verses for failure, but they brought up this one too. For the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. So isn't that crazy, right? We've read all these, and there's so many other verses, right? And I have only remembered 2 of those out of all these things. And I think failure is such a big one, right? Especially like just failure, and then the aspects of how failure affects our mentality, how failure affects our perceptions of what people may think of us and stuff like that. It's very interesting, right? Because at many times, I used to be way about that, of just trying to be like, I want to put my best foot forward. I want to not mess up. I don't want to show people that I'm a mess up, you know. But the thing about that, right? Now it is, I don't know if that's good in some degree, but I think what started happening to me is I always felt like I kind of had to like one up myself, right? All the time. Like if you start like wanting to always just like, I feel like there's that, well, that's what I started getting into. I started getting into this psychological mind thing of like, I always have to like one up myself or something like that. And then it gets to the point where if you can't one up yourself, or you just keep failing, you just go, and then you just get so frustrated, and you just kind of like just don't even want to do it, right? You're just like, man, this is like, it's just weird, right? I don't know. It's just strange thinking about that. Now, I don't know what verses would fall under that aspect, but let's see here. Let's continue to read some more of these. Proverbs 28:13. Whoever conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. I honestly don't know why they have that in there, but strange. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Interesting. Philippians 4:4 through 7. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I will say rejoice. Yet let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Right? I really like that part where it says, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding," right? And that's the crazy, just most powerful, well, maybe not most powerful, but a very powerful aspect of the faith, and getting into learning about Jesus and learning about the Lord and trying to follow the Lord and just trying to follow God's will and trying to get deeper into God's word, right? Is that once we get into it, man, like, though like the storms of life and these gnarly trials may happen to us, right? If we stick and stay within God's word, right? It's like this armor we start adorning ourselves with, and like God will continue to kind of like customize this armor so it fits within our lives, and we're just like starting to wear like the spirit armor kind of stuff, right? And it's so interesting because it's the aspect of like, it really starts to you really start. I mean, for me personally, it started transforming my words. For a long time, I used to really be just about drawing and stuff like that. I actually did not even like talking. I didn't even like using words. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna draw all this stuff, and like I barely even talked and used my words at all. But after getting into God's word, man, it's like, dude, it's totally freed me from so much negative, just negative internal monologue. Like I think that's the biggest one is negative internal monologue, and it's weird because once we get deeper into God's word, we start learning so much about our tongue, about our words. We have to be careful with our words, and we have to just be super careful with our tongue, right? Because the tongue actually holds the power of life and death. And it sounds crazy, right? It sounds ridiculous at first, right? But once you start looking deeper into it and you start studying more about words and your word usage and how words actually affect you, and it affects your perception of reality, it affects how you handle situations, it affects how you deal with stress, how you deal with anxiety, how you deal with depression, how you deal with sadness and anger and all this stuff, right? Words kind of are sometimes the first little spark that starts happening for other things, right? Even like, I mean, it would be so crazy. Like, I know it sounds insane, right? But it would be so interesting to like imagine if you had the ability to like look into people's past experiences that are in prison at this very moment, and if we could somehow get into their mind and be like, okay, what caused this explosive reaction for you to start this fight, to get in an argument, and then you end up stabbing some dude in the neck and he dies, and now you're in prison or something like that, right? Like it sounds crazy, right? But if you were to really like if we could like literally go into a prison system right now, start talking to some of these people, and if you could really like just go in their mind and be like, okay, what started all this stuff, right? And sometimes we really, 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 really look deeper into it, right? A lot of these sparks have started because of words, because of like their internal monologue. They're just like, oh, and it's like sometimes it's also like a fight or flight reaction, right? Because sometimes our fight or flight reactions, sometimes it like kind of like puts us into this strange like primal state of wanting to survive or wanting to fight or just run away and stuff like that. But yeah, and that just reminds me, we'll just go into that. And it's so weird we're even going into this stuff. That's what's so strange about doing these Bible studies and just going into it, right? Because what in the world? We started talking about all this crazy stuff, right? It's like, it's so insane, right? But let's go into James, and James goes into that, right? And I think it's a very important one. I think what's really weird, and I haven't actually heard too many pastors bring it up, right? But we can actually experience a little bit of hell. And I think James brings it up in, let's see here. I have it underlined in here somewhere. Where is it? We can experience a bit of hell if you really want to. Let's read into this, right? Okay, let's see here. It says, "For we all stumble in many ways, and if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle his whole body. If we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they obey us, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at the ships also. Though they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell." Isn't that crazy? Like, I have underlined that verse up in there, but it is insane. Like, it is so crazy. Like, what is James saying right there? James is saying our tongue, our words that we use, can essentially even set our entire, it can set us on fire. It can like literally, we can get a taste of what hell is like because of the words that we use, right? And it's so insane to think about it that way, but it's really not that insane, right? Because if you really think about, okay, so if we could get into the mind frame of someone that's super depressed, super in anxiety, super, I mean, even maybe on the verges of suicide or on the verges of the precipice of wanting to harm people or cause these massive tragedies and stuff like this. it's like weird to think what sort of words are they using in their own mind frame right there. Like what, like literally, if we could really go into their mind, right? What sort of words are they using, right? Like what kind of, like, what are their thoughts on that? And the scary part about it is, at many times we actually don't kind of realize the words that we're even using to ourselves, right? And sometimes the words that we use to ourselves are sometimes like these things that are outside of our, like kind of like these outside influences, right? Sometimes even like some music and stuff like that, right? I mean, I remember, that's weird because some, like when you remember a song or something like that, but what's weird is like sometimes you just like kind of, there's like a catchy beat or something like that. And then sometimes you just remember that beat and then that's why you remember the lyrics and stuff. But sometimes you don't really realize, oh, what is this person actually trying to say up in here or something like that, right? And that's just a trip, man. And that is it's such a weird one, man. And it actually goes into this weird thing, and I brought it up many times. I brought up a lot of this stuff many times, but it's this aspect of the sword of the Spirit is the Word of God, right? Now, what was weird is I met this mysterious believer out front of Barnes & Noble, and it was this when I was living out in my car in Long Beach, right? And he was like this super weird believer. I mean, he was weird, but he was super smart, right? And he was super like knowledgeable. Like he would just go into Barnes & Noble and just read books about Christianity and stuff like that. And it was just so weird. And he brought something up to my attention that I've never heard any pastor say. And for some odd reason, I've remembered it. And you know how I started the stream off, right? I was like, well, why do I remember some things and then other things it just goes in one ear and out the other, right? Because a lot of this stuff, it just goes in one ear and out the other. And maybe sometimes this is why I have to continue to just keep bringing this stuff up, right? In order for me to remember this kind of stuff, right? But what was weird is I had this encounter with this believer outside of Barnes & Noble, and he was like, oh, and we started talking about like paladins, and it sounds cheesy, right? We were talking about paladins because I think I brought up something about RPG games, and he's like, oh yeah, the paladin class, all this stuff, the armor, and then we started talking about the armor of God, right? And then he was like, oh, well, do you know why, or like he brought up his hypothesis or something about the sword of the Spirit. I think he said something along the lines to me. He's like, oh, well, why is the sword of the Spirit called the Word of God? And I was like, well, I don't know, isn't it just Ephesians 6, just the armor of God? And he brought up this weird thing is he says, well, if you put S, like literally the letter S in front of word, it becomes what? It becomes a sword, right? So our words actually can become like swords, right? And there's actually a scripture that actually kind of says something like that, right? And what's weird is that this sword, we can either kind of defend ourselves or at times, unknowingly, this sword that we carry, our words, can even pierce our own mind. And it can even pierce our own selves and we not really even know. It can pierce our own mind, right? Like imagine having this sword, but then you don't even know that it's pierced into your own head. It's like, it's crazy, man. It's just insane. Like, I know it sounds crazy how I'm probably bringing it up, but like, ever since he told me that, I was like, what in the world, bro? That is a trip, dude. Like, and yeah, it was just such a strange thing. And for some reason I've remembered that, right? And I don't know, it's maybe if it's because he was a memorable character, memorable believer, and I just remember him, or maybe it was just the circumstances where I was at, but there's some reason I remember that, and I forget a lot of things, but for some reason I remember that when he told me. So I don't know, let's see here. Let's continue onward on this thing about our words. It's weird. We were in how did I get into, it's so weird. How did we start this stream off with failure, and now we've gotten into words? I have no idea, right? So that's just weird. But I don't know how that happened, but we just literally made some sort of, like we started off with failure, but now we're going into our tongue and our words. I have no idea how that transition happened, but we're in it now. Okay, let's see here. Let's finish this off, and I guess we'll just call it a thing, and we'll get in writing. Okay. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creature can be tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. And I just want to I don't have I brought all my pencils and stuff in my room, but that verse right there, I want to underline that right there. Full of deadly poison. I mean, what's so strange, I've literally read these parts of this so many times, but that deadly poison part, bro. What is, dude, if you really think about that, poison, what does poison do? I think about poison, like just poison, bro. It's like, I I mean, I think about like venom, but I also think about like it not like killing you right in the first thing. You know, like poison sometimes kind of like slowly leaches into you, and you like. There was actually this one time where I got stabbed in my foot with a stingray. I was literally swimming in Long Beach, and I got stung by a stingray on my foot, man. And it was freaking crazy. It was a really painful experience. It was weird. I like got stung, and I was like, oh my goodness. I actually, in the first part, I was like, maybe it was just a piece of glass or something. I just stepped on some glass maybe. And then what was weird is like, I was just like sitting by like the bathrooms, right? And I'm just like in the sand. And I'm just like, and I'm just like, dude. And the pain started just like creeping up my leg, bro. Like it just started like if you get stung by a stingray on your foot, you can literally feel like the poison just like crawling up your leg, and it freaking hurts, man. It is just, it's brutal how much it hurts. And what's crazy is all they do is you just put your foot in a little bag of hot water, and that's all they do, and then it goes away. I guess the hot water like kind of like takes the poison out or something. But that's what I remember when I think about that, right? Full of deadly poison, right? I guess our words can be like that, right? Our words can poison us, and maybe at first it won't hurt us, but over time it might slowly chip away at our psyche and maybe even make us go crazy or insane, or fall into envy or jealousy or depression or sadness. And that could maybe even lead us into suicidal ideations, or maybe even frustration to the point of anger, into wrath and wanting to hurt people and stuff like that. Who knows, man? I mean, I guess not who knows, but like that's potentially what could happen from our word usage, right? Which is, does that not trip anybody? I feel like that just trips me out so much. Like that is just like, does that, man, I just like, I don't know, man. Let's hear. With it we bless our Lord and Father, and with it we curse people who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth come blessing and cursings, my brothers, these things not ought be so. And that we can go into blessings and cursings, right? Now, I think what's weird about cursings, right, is I think if I were to bring up this word, okay, everybody, cursings, what is that? They go, oh, it's just a curse word. It doesn't really have any sort of significance or anything like that, right? But what's weird is if you actually look up the definition of curse, let's look up that definition right now. Curse definition. Okay, so curse definition is a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. Now, see, the weird thing is that if you think about curse words, I think what's weird is that if we think about curses, right, and it's weird because James brings up blessings and cursings, right? I think what's weird is sometimes we can get numb to the fact of like certain curse words and stuff. And by the way, I want to also say, I know some people have asked me why I don't use curse words and stuff. Well, I'm going to bring it up just because we're starting to talk about it right here with that verse of blessings and curses that James brings up. But here's the thing, right, is that I don't think that curse words can necessarily be curses themselves, but it could maybe be like a little forerunner. And also it's the aspect of sometimes we can be like numb to curse words and stuff like that. So sometimes you could probably say some curse words all the time and it would never affect you, right? But what I think is a true curse, like what I truly think is a true curse, is a curse that kind of is like a poison that James brings up of our words. And it is somewhat maybe a string of words that people use, or something that gets into a person's mind to make them feel maybe not good enough, maybe that makes them feel sad or depressed or angry, and then that kind of stews in them, and then they go out and it starts affecting their mind, right? And that's what's weird about certain words and how we use certain words to some people, right? And it's just so strange that James brings up blessings and cursings, right? So he's acknowledging that cursings actually can happen, right? He's acknowledging that curses are actually real. And it's kind of weird if you think about it that way. I mean, in some weird way, if we were to get into the minds of, some of these things of envy and jealousy and depression and sadness and anger and wrath and all this stuff could potentially their word usage, maybe potentially them unknowingly, even not knowing their internal monologue, could they potentially even be under a curse, right? I mean, I guess it's kind of strange because there's actually the same believer actually told me what's weird about words, because we were talking about S, you put S in front of word, it becomes a sword, right? What's weird is he was saying that, spells, like spells like in Harry Potter or something like that, right? Well, it's like, what's weird is he was saying that spells are actually real. That spells, and there's actually a reason why we call it spelling. It's weird, it's because we're using words. Words are spells, basically, right? Now take that with a grain of salt. That's what this other believer told me, but I mean, he basically brought up this is why they call it spelling. Spelling. We're spelling words out and stuff like that. We're using words. We're using vocabulary. So in some weird way, can you be, you think about that, but it's just strange. And now going into the aspect of like why I don't curse or use curse words or try not to use curse words. I do use curse words sometimes, but I try not to. Now, I don't want to say that all curse words are bad because, like I said, you can be numb to certain curse words and you can be numb to even curses and stuff like that. It's just what affects a person in their own internal monologue is what really matters. But the thing is that, so the reason why I don't use curse words, or I try not to, is I actually used to work at Woodward. I worked at Woodward for 7 months, right? And the strange thing is I actually cursed so much use curse words anymore. And the curse words or just the vocabulary of curse words. I'm not saying those are actually curses themselves, but I used to use those words a lot, right? But then after working at Woodward for 7 months, I literally if you work there, you can't use curse words because you have to kind of be like this. I don't know. You have to just help kids and you have to teach them how to ride bikes and they're teaching them how to skateboard and rollerblade and stuff like that, right? So what they said is that you have to use your wood words, right? So that was the weird thing is like there would be like these boss people, coming up, and if they heard you like cursing and stuff, you get in trouble. So it's like after working there for 7 months and being around all these other people that like use those words, it literally changed my vocabulary. It sounds ridiculous, but it's like that's what changed my vocabulary. The strange thing about working at Woodward also is I did meet Dustin Orem, and he was like one of these BMX camp BMX like teacher camp director people. I don't know what he was. He was like I know he was the higher up from where I was at because I was doing creative skate. I was doing maintenance, and then I started working on the creative skate over there. But what was weird about Dustin is he was actually I think he was like a pastor too or something. He's still doing it. He does like and he was doing like some sort of bike ministry thing. And it was kind of strange because I didn't really think about it at the time because I was kind of like a believer, but not fully into it. But meeting Dustin, it definitely helped influence it a lot more. And also just meeting a lot of the believers over there in Woodward, and then just being around like Olympic athletes and stuff like that. And just, I mean, at the time, like BMX and skateboarding wasn't in the Olympics, but there were like Olympic gymnasts and stuff that were going that would go to Woodward West and stuff like that, right? And if you guys don't know, Woodward started out as a gymnastics camp. It used to, because a lot of people think about Woodward and they think, oh, it's that extreme sports camp. Woodward started out as a gymnastics camp, right? And so that's the other crazy thing to think about. But yeah, just observing how Olympic athletes are training and just how disciplined they are, man. They really are on it. They're really on top of all their stuff, and they just eat so much fruit. It's crazy. And just being around that, and then just seeing all these believers and meeting other believers when I was working there, it's just like, bro, it's crazy. There's a lot. And what's really strange, I find a lot of athletes being believers. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about, I honestly don't know why. I think it might be because of that one verse is saying something, Paul saying something along the lines of like running the race or something like that. And we have to like keep running like a runner or something like, maybe that's why but for some odd reason, I don't know why, but I meet a lot of athletes that are believers. I don't know if there's just some sort of weird correlation. I mean, let's look that up right now. I'm just so curious. Like, why do I meet... why are so many athletes believers? Athletes believer. I don't know why. Honestly, I'm not sure. It's so weird. I don't know. I guess none of these are really bringing it up. It's weird. I guess they're just saying, "Oh, well, it's a big team, like sports fans or something." I don't know. This one says, "Why are so many NBA players Christian?" This is actually a very interesting thing. I never really like looked this up. Huh. Yeah, see, it's so strange. They're like bringing up all these weird answers. Like, huh. I'm actually super curious. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know, honestly. Huh. Yeah, it's very strange, huh? This person says, I've always believed that sports stars are religious due to the lack of education. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why so many. I have no. That's what somebody said. I don't know though, but I mean, maybe God's using them. I don't know, right? Because we are supposed to honor God with our like body and stuff like that, and our strength and giving it all. You know what? I think I actually have an idea. I think maybe why so many more athletes are maybe believers is because you kind of have to just like maybe because we're you do things that are like physical, and you know how like you can have headphones in, because there was many times when I would just listen to sermons and have headphones in, and I could still ride while listening to a sermon or something like that. So I'm wondering if there's that aspect of like being able to do sports or something, but also listen to a sermon at the same time, and then maybe like I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's weird, huh? That's actually a very strange question. I've never heard a pastor bring that up. That's so weird. Yeah, they're bringing up I guess a lot of these people don't really know how to answer it either. It's just kind of like I don't know. Some people are saying, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, I guess that was the Bible study. Like, man, that was 42 minutes. Holy moly. What in the... these Bible studies are so weird, dude. People probably just think I'm crazy, but I don't know. I know they're good for me because I get to practice the word. And then also why I do it in the beginning is because I feel like if I don't do the Bible study in the beginning, I ain't ever going to do it. Because I'll just like, I feel like because I have the energy to read, because sometimes, like, it's weird because, like when people go, oh, well, I'm going to read before I go to bed so I get tired and stuff like that. Well, that's probably what would end up happening to me, right? But if I just do it right in the beginning, it's like, boom, okay, let's put our energy into it. Let's go for it. And then we can do the other stuff, right? So it's like, I don't know, that's how I'm seeing it. Though I do lose a lot of followers because I do these Bible studies, but it's okay. Oh well. As long as one person, as long as I get one view on these videos, as long as there's one person, that's cool with me, man. Because hopefully, maybe that one soul needs to hear something. I don't know. All right, let's do a card draw. What are we to draw today? Man, hopefully I can land the elbow glide today. Oh man, that trick's been taking so long, bro. You guys that do the elbow glide, you guys did not say how long this like, that's the weird thing about certain flatland tricks. There's some ones that take a long time for some odd, and the elbow glide for me has been taking just an extreme amount of time. I think it's just because I'm learning it in this little area, and you have to like, in order to get the right carve to where you can turbine it, or not turbine, but to go in a circle, you have to like get the right speed. I think that's the secret to it all. You have to like get the right speed going into it, and then the right speed of doing the whiplash thing, and then you have to like get the right speed, and then you have to lock your elbow in it at the right time. And if you miss time where you lock your elbow in, it like kind of like messes your balance point up or something like that. And it's just like, so I don't know, it's like hard, like there's just so many little it's just like these very, very minute little variables, and it seems like a really easy trick if you watch people doing it. You're like, oh dude, that thing's easy, man. Well, that's kind of what I thought anyway. But like when I watch them, I'm like, dude, they're doing that thing like it's nothing. And the thing is that they make it look like that because like you basically have to get like that right like timing of all of it, the right timing, the right speed, the right angle, and then you have to get that angle, and then you have to like be super gentle with your elbow locking it in, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's a crazy trick. I want to learn it though. It looks cool. All right, let's see. What do we draw today? What are we finna get up in here? Let's go. Okay, first card of the day. This one. A quarter paladin. Did somebody say something? Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't see your chat. I apologize. By the way, I really apologize. I'm sorry I can't see the chat. I did see I see a little box thing. I'm sorry. I'm streaming this on my phone, and Twitch changed their UI thing, and I have my phone on my lowest brightness level because I do kind of like these long. They're not even that long streams, but like, you know, I don't want my phone overheating, so I have my brightness all the way down. I can't see the chat, so I'm sorry, and I'm using my phone over here because I normally have my chat open, but I read the Bible stuff on my phone, so I can't. I'm sorry. I can't see the chat. I really apologize. I am sorry, anybody out there. But that's the card we drew. Quarter paladin. Second card. Ooh, oh, dude, this one's awesome. We got lifelink. Lifelink. Bro, this one reminds me of Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee, though no one pursue, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Dude, that artwork is so gnarly, bro. Isn't that artwork just amazing, bro? Like, that's just like some well-ly crafted. Look, it like goes into like a lion right there. Dude, that one's cool. I need to see that card. That card's cool, man. Dude, look at that. It just like almost goes into like a little story. Paladin lifelink. The lion. Okay, number 3. We got a plains. Number 4. Aw, cool. Dude, we got righteousness. This one's awesome, bro. Righteousness. That literally just went into the whole Proverbs 28 one. And this is what, man. Now, this card is interesting, right? Because it's like the whole knight fighting the dragon. This one reminds me of the Archangel Michael. I wonder, do you think that the Archangel Michael, we're going to have to do another Bible study. I've only done one Bible study on the Archangel Michael, and it was on Michaelmas, I think. But I'm wondering, like, do you think the Archangel Michael, right at this very moment, is he building up the fold? Is he helping to strengthen up the believers? Right? Isn't that strange? Man, that's just so weird to think about, right? We're going to have to do a Bible study on that. Man. Because there is something in Revelation saying something that the Archangel Michael, not only in Revelation, I think in Daniel too, something saying that the Archangel Michael's going to rise up and he's actually going to battle the devil or Satan, the dragon or something like that. Huh. I wonder if he's like building up the believers or something. I wonder what Michael's doing right now. Man, that's really weird to think about, right? I never really thought about that. I mean, I kind of thought about that, but it's just strange putting it, like, having that thought and then me just saying that right there. It's just weird. We got Possessed Centaur. This one reminds me of Psalms 18:33. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He sets me secure on the heights. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Stoneforge Mystic. We haven't drawn this card in forever. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, last card. Ooh. Soratami Seer. This card's cool. I like the flavor text on here. The flavor text says, their mirrors show two worlds, that which is and that which should be. Which seers are actually very weird. If you look that up, you can do your own little Bible study on seers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the hand for today. Now we can get into writing. Kind of strange. It's weird. It's kind of funny that I've still been doing it, but it's like, man, it's like, I don't know, man. It's just so easy to do. It's just fun, you know. Is it weird that some of these cards remind me of Bible verses? Like, is that a bad thing? Or like, I don't know, right? Because it sounds weird right now, and I think some believers might disagree with me on here. But honestly, this is how I've been viewing the faith lately, right? I've been viewing the faith as in, if anything is tethering me back into the Word of God, even in the slightest degree, that maybe could be potentially be used by God in some strange way, strange fashion. Maybe it could be some subtle seeds of faith. But if like anything, right, like just gets me, okay, well, what is getting me to actually even open this and look into it, right? That's how I'm viewing it lately. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I've been doing as of lately. And let's chug this coffee, and then we're gonna get into bike riding. And let's see here. Oh, man, I got a lot. Let's see what are these people saying. Dude, that piece that we did yesterday was hilarious, bro. I'm gonna like deleting all this crap. I don't know. They didn't let me post it or something over on this other forum thing. I think it's because of, I don't know. I guess it can be a little controversial or something, but what the? Look at that squirrel. Bro, I wish I had a squirrel pet. Man, how cool would that be, man? Okay. I'll be right back. I'll get into writing. Try and learn how to do this. Let's do this. Let's ride the bicycle. Oops. Man, I wish I could just ride the skate park, man, but it's okay. It's all good. There's a lot of things I gotta still learn, I guess. But I wish I could just shred the park without having to be, self-conscious and I'm gonna get hurt. Why can't I just ride normally? I just miss going to the skate park and not having to be afraid that I'm gonna get hurt, man. Fudge, Red Rose. Like everybody, I just see all my friends just riding the skate park. I'm like, oh my god, man. I wanna be there, dude. It's okay. I guess we'll just learn this stuff then. Alright, what are we doing here? What are we doing then? What are we doing? Here, let's see. I need to open up the stream. I need to see if this thing's even working. Okay, let's see. I can't even see the chat. Okay, dokie. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Alright, let's do this. Let's go. I wonder if I should put this light up thing. I think it's cool. It kind of gives it a different little thing. I made that. This is a hazard light thing. I just put this colored thing from a folder on top of it. Okie dokie, I guess we'll do some the knee thing again. I think this is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream because some people want to hang out today, so. Let's do pivot ones. I feel like I shouldn't even be able to do this. Okay, let's check for PSI. Again, we're losing around 5 PSI. It's kind of weird. Some days I actually lose 1 PSI. Actually, that one I barely even lost any PSI. Let's turn up in here. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, we could have that thing up there. This is super. Oh, that's fine. I've been doing a lot of circles lately. This song's awesome. Yeep. Alright, let's try and fail and do some elbow glides. Bam, let's see if we can land one. Oh. That trick so hard. Brutal. One day we're gonna master it, man. They make it look so easy, but it's hard, man. I don't know why. You gotta get at that right angle, bro. Kind of just mess around with all this stuff, I guess. Stuff that I'm not good at. Oh yeah, I forgot what we do in front yards. That was cool. Man, that dude streams a lot. I think he's doing that 6 days a week, huh? Huh. Here, I think we can watch some YouTube videos now. Okay, let's see here. Jub, 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 jub. here. Let's open this thing up. Put a YouTube video up on here. What should we watch? Put on like a skateboard and then kind of have a skate vibe up in here. Watch Dan Corrigan. Come on, man. I like this song. Alright, let's see here. Okay, we'll watch this. Or I guess you guys watch it. I'm just gonna listen to it. Putting it for ASMR effects.
It's kind of in the worst spot ever, huh? Oh, going in between. Is that real? That's narrow.
Oops. What the heck? Come on.
By planning it? No, of course not.
Let's see, is that on there right?
Oh, that was scary. I didn't mean to run up on this.
I think I get in trouble. I'm pretty sure you don't get in trouble for watching other people's YouTube
Like,
videos in here.
like the
And I think Dan would be cool with it. He'd be like, oh, dude, more people watch my YouTube video. That's cool with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can get the right angle from here. It's unintentionally skate stopped. Oh my god. There it is. That's like right into the hole though. Oh. You went to the other side of the hole. I was ready for that. That was sick. Alright, time to go. This had to. It's for children. You're like walking down the street and like you don't really like look at spots that you guys see, and then like you point out and I notice something, and then he points this spot out, which is something that I don't see, because this is 2 stories high. This is. Well, let me go from the bottom.
Oh, wait, that's what we try. I kind of want to do that cleaner.
Yeah. Like that's the spot. Like you know how like kids are like you see like a grass mound and then it's concrete and it's getting back. This is what he looked at. We're checking out the science center. Well, we can look at it. Okay, let's try to have a look at my skate spot. Hey, this is cool. Fun little play around spot. I wish I had my board that I could run. Oh. So it makes you think. I could be fried and just not know, but I don't know if someone did this.
Fudge.
I mean, the kink's chopped. If you chopped this kink and didn't grind it, dude. Comment down below why you sit up. Oh, whoa.
Actually, I might be able to just run it without the thing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. Oh, they hit it from the adult side. Here's the question, y'all. If this actually had run up, would you do all of this? Yeah. So while I'm doing all these dumb registers, y'all just getting, I guess you could say it's a 6 stair in on support.
That's like the worst that'll happen.
Yeah, Jaws. Keep it going.
Why is this trick so hard? I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Ah! I'm like trying not to get frustrated, but it's like frustrating. Let's put this light up on here. I kind of forgot. Good little atmosphere. Oh, I almost did it.
Yeah, whenever you mess up with Ollie, I know it's up here those days. Look how good the angle is. Oh, yeah, you got that, dude. Look at that, man. Yeah, I just have him like on a grind to the end of the rail, but like shoot it from here for the thumbnail. So it looks like he just grinding the most jack.
Oh!
I mean, it'd be
I'm gonna
really
do
weird,
it.
but it'd be like good to me. Actually, that's funny to me. Like, if you treat this like the end of a set of stairs, it's still like almost.
I'm so close.
Wait, so you just go like this when there was a kink on it? Oh, it's like a bear back rail. Yes, sir. It's a line. Is that buddy? Towards me. Just go hard flip. You can tell from the video I've been super frustrated. Like I'm trying to laugh it off, but like one of my favorite parts about it is like I actually feel knowledge of about the drive. But since it's not my board, I can't throw it, so it's like kind of keeping me calm and I really want to that's simple. Then I like squeeze the board real hard and I could like stick my fingertips over it just like so you can't do any damage. So it's keeping me in check. We might have a job for that. I don't know. He's the unwaxed grinder. But there's a drop down grind. Maybe that pop back up on that one. I feel like you can do it. I'll put it kind of drop on the other side. Oh.
all good.
That. Milk
I
drag.
just kind of like, just keep failing.
The hardest curve ever grinded. Now I
Oh, it's so close.
You just gotta believe. Dude, you got this. Give it a try. I think I'm gonna get at least 5.
It's like you gotta be perfect at this thing, man.
Yes.
Come on, bro.
Head the truck.
Come on, come on, come on. We just gotta endure the failures. What if I just did this all day? Would I land one? I feel like I'm gonna get one here pretty soon.
It's fun when you walk in like that. Oh my. Oh. So yeah, down part where that crack is, you can't grind it in a part that's too rounded. Actually, you could probably grind it with your super wide crack. Oh shit. Browse my board.
What am I doing wrong?
That was insane.
I don't understand.
I said no more stuff. Scary one, eh? Yeah. Yeah, kind of fun. I just that one spot.
Another video?
Alright, put Cody in his spot. He has to challenge me to do this because Lady had to come back to safety in a line. I did it before him, but I'll try to rebuttal. He says he deserves one, but he's probably like 3 times before I just left. This park is kind of narrow, so it's like, I don't know, this is really hard to go. It's a fun park, but you probably need it yourself. You know? Switch one? That was sick. That was sick. When he gets me from the stairs and the handrail, though. Just crossing.
Why is
You
this
get
trick
4
so
down.
hard?
It's not even like your wheelbase long. It's over now because he says he doesn't like it. I guess we're now gonna actually land it. So we're battling for this. You want me to go first? Okay. Alright. Yeah, so I gotta go first. Yeah, you go first. I'm gonna land.
This is what everybody else had to go through. I'm struggling on this trick, man. People are just laughing at me. Dude, I don't know why this one's so hard for me. It makes no sense. You gotta go a little bit faster. Come on, bro. Man, it's brutal. Like, I know it's doable because I see people doing it. It's just not working out, man.
Say I did it first try earlier. Back at. Oh, that could have been so bad.
Ayapa. You held that one for a little bit. Oh my goodness, that was scary. Dude, that trick is gnarly, bro. You just gotta full on just send it.
Alright, that should be it.
Come on. How does Luke do it, man? Luke's gnarly, bro. He just holds it so gnarly. Like, I don't understand how you're doing that. Brutal. I've been doing a lot of swivels lately. Swivel has become my go-to trick now. I used to be like my worst trick, and now swivels like are easy now. It's so crazy. little transition's hard. See upside down toe it. I know I'm not good at those ones. I've only landed that one like 4 times, I think. But it's a fun one. It's just super inconsistent.
Yeah, come on. Jesus Christ.
So close. So close, it's so far. I tried so hard and got so far. Alright, right here, Undertaker. I think I'll land one this week. Let's go for it.
If you do that the next try, you don't have to buy it. Yeah, but you have to buy standard to film the first try. If Cody doesn't land it, you for sure have to buy shit. Yeah. Like, no, like, drop it.
Empathy!
I bet, say less, Cody. Say
Yeah.
less.
I know, dude.
Because ours, we try to have
The Undertaker. We got it. Those things are hard, dude. They're easy if you have a short flatland frame. You have the short flat bars and the short flat frame, that trick's way easier. But with the modern setup, you literally have to like jump over the bike. But there's this one dude that does like, he makes Undertakers look so easy. He's that one dude. I forgot his name. I apologize. It's that one dude, he's kind of older. He seems like he's like 50 or something. And he does like double Undertakers. He'll do like Undertaker, bar spin, Undertaker, or something like that. I forgot his name. He's on YouTube or something like that. Dude's brutal, bro. He makes that trick look so easy, bro. I'm like, how do you do that? Dub does him brakeless rolling. I wish I could do him brakeless. I wonder if he learned them with brakes first. I think like, I wonder if like people did it like that, right? Like even like the decade, it seems like all the people that do brakeless decades, they actually used to ride brakes back in the day, right?
That's a wild one. This ground's kind of great for it. It's kind of do like front tail, front 270, spin, whatever you call that.
My only line I'll probably learn today. Oh, what was I learning? Oh yeah, I'm trying to learn an elbow glide. Bro, what am I doing wrong? I've literally been trying to learn this elbow glide for months. I almost landed one yesterday, but let's check it out.
Front hook's another one that I feel like that hurt my back foot is like back when
Oh my god, I'm right there. That was crazy. I actually almost did it right there.
down that way and scooping like that hurts my calf.
So what's hard about like the elbow glide is because like I'm doing it in such a little area that like you have to literally get the right angle so your bike starts turning that way, right? And it's just such a weird trick, man. Because like I can do them in a straight line, right? Like I can get it and then you go in a straight line, but trying to turn it, it's like so weird. Like you have to you almost have to like get this right angle here. I'll show you. Like so you have to be really gentle, and then like it almost feels like you have to like turn your bar a little bit, like while you get into it, and then you have to be like super gentle with your elbow. Like you can't like you gotta like feather it in there. And then get into it. Real good. Because I mean, eventually I'm gonna do this, right? I'm gonna do.
Right here. We're gonna start right now. Let's go. Yeah.
You know, and then hopefully this. That's my goal. But I don't know, some people learned it differently. But I like saw people and they did it from an elbow glide. I don't know if that's easier. Because I mean, some people started off like this, right? But I kind of feel like the elbow glide actually might be easier. Because like the elbow, like your bike's already right there, right? And then all you have to do is just that. Right? Whereas like this, you kind of have to like kind of like, you know, like kind of catch it like that. I don't know which one's easier. I want to learn that. I want to learn hitchhiker. It's hard. See what you do under upside down toe.
Play where it lies. Oh, this is gonna be a really good flip trick. I can already tell. What do you do? Hop over down, crap. Or are you gonna dip down? I don't know. I don't know if I want it. Definitely MVD. Oh!
No! Fudge. That's every time I mess it up right there.
Actually kind of dominating this thing right now. Force backwards. No, it's not.
I'm not. I've also been trying to learn how to funky chicken in a circle. So the funky chicken with a circle, I think I figured something out. So like you're in it, right? Like this. And something that they don't really tell you is that you can you can turn the bar, right? Like this. And what's weird about it is that when you turn the bar, you can't really see your scuff foot, so you're almost doing it like blind. But then like you can like kind of turn. I think that's what they're doing. I'm not gonna talk about that, but. Oh, I'm in a straight line. It's so weird not going a straight line. I know, dude. I wish I could ride the skate park and stuff, but I guess this is where God has me. I don't know. I'd love to go to the skate park, but bro, it sucks, dude. Like, cause it sucks when you're around your homies at the skate park, cause you're like, bro, I want to just send it, right? Cause I used to air out a lot. Like, that's all I used to kind of do is just air out. And then seeing my homies airing out, I'm just like, bro, I can do that. And I don't want to get hurt again, bro. It sucks, dude, but it's okay. There's a lot of things I can still learn in here. I'm like locked into just doing flatland, but because I wanted to even ride that little dirt jump, right? I literally can't believe I got hurt on that little dirt jump. That's what really, man, that sucks. Oh well, it's okay.
That was the homie though. I don't know what.
Oh, just from riding bikes, man. Actually, I used to rock climb. I used to rock climb a lot. I guess not a lot, but like I did used to rock climb. I think actually I've been noticing some riders are actually really good at rock climbing. So if you out there and you ride BMX, you try rock climbing. There's a couple of my buddies got hurt on BMX and then they started rock climbing. They're really good at it. So.
Alright, we got
What was I trying?
Take ditch 2 of bank.
Oh yeah, here, check out this new line. This is the new line I want to learn. So we start out like switch-footed, and then it's that turbine steamroller. If I can get it. I haven't done it yet, but new line. Okay, so it's like the turbine steamroller, right? Oops. And then what you do is you switch your hand like that, and then go into a funky chicken. I just figured that one out. I haven't done it yet, but that was fun. Oops. Oopsies. And then also, like, I've been trying to learn like that hang 10 no-hander thing. Dude, how does Luke do it so good? It's crazy, bro. You guys check out Luke Malone. He's like such an underrated rider. It's literally insane. Like his videos barely get any views, but like he does these like hang 10 no-hander turbines. They're so gnarly, bro. They're like it literally seems like it's like fake. That's how gnarly it looks. I want to learn it like that. Luke Malone, check it out. Check it out. It's so hard to land. Pretty cool, huh? Wait, what are we watching? What is this? I'm making a DIY or something. Yeah, we got that. Huh. Crazy how much stuff you can learn in this little area. It's literally insane. And you can ride it without an ACL, so I'm like living proof, but I don't know, dude. How is Ryan Nyquist riding without an ACL, bro? I see his clips, dude. I'm like, dude, there is no way that dude doesn't have an ACL. But he has that gnarly brace, so I'm wondering, like, I don't know, dude, it's weird. It's like, dude, it's crazy. I'm like, dude, there is no way that dude doesn't have an ACL. But he says he doesn't have an ACL, but I like, oh, no, man. Nice. He's gnarly. Opa! Oh, I love steamroller. Steamroller are fun. What other things are I trying? Come on. Did you put on brakes here at Empathy? You learned decades? Because you don't have to have a front brake either. You can just put on back brakes, and then you could just do it from a foot jam. Just foot jam right here, and then put your foot right there, and then do the decade. Put some more on. What is this? I don't even know who that is. That's weird. I wonder why that came up. Let's look at Flatland BMX. There needs to be like Flatland BMX vloggers. I don't know where they're all at, man. Because I actually really digged when like Spencer Forsman did that thing. Yeah, there's like no BMX vloggers or BMX flatland vloggers. Dude, this chick is gnarly, bro. Viola Loves Cycling. She's gnarly, bro. That chick's awesome. Oh yeah, are you kidding me? AFA contest going today looks dead. Everybody just needs to... I don't even know there was a contest today. Is there a contest today? Oops, who's it? This is actually something that, like, America doesn't have. Like, artistic cycling in America is totally dead. Like, imagine if this chick started riding flatland BMX, bro. She would shred it up so... Like, she's doing that on a fixie, dude. I saw this chick do, like... I think she does, like, 7 boomerangs. It's insane. No! Let's see if I can save it. Oh! Holy moly! Fudge. Darn it. I didn't get hurt though. I somehow did not hurt my knee. How crazy is that, man? It's because I'm like doing flat. Hopefully the song's not on copyright. Look, she does like a boomerang on here. I want to see someone do this on a BMX bike. Or wait, she can do the... Oh, like that right there. I've never seen anybody do that on a BMX bike. That is insane, bro. She did a handlebar ride boomerang? Or decade or something like that? That is crazy, bro. I can't even imagine doing that. But I actually know how I know how she learned that trick though. So how she learned that one right there, she said that one took a really long time to learn. And what she did is she has like this barn, right? Or like this gymnastics thing. And they have this rope. And she has like this like, I think she puts on a rock climbing thing. She puts on a rock climbing thing and then there's the rope that's in a circle, right? And so she can ride on it and then like do that thing. And if she falls down, then the rope catches her. Where's this lighter go?